Carter,
Here.
Mr. Hibbert,
Here.
Ms. Klein,
Here.
Ms. Huffman,
Here.
Ms. Enlow,
Here.
Mr. Campion.
Here.
Thank you all present. Next on the agenda, approve the 4/25/22 regular meeting minutes. It stands, entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
Okay, Lisa Carter, Stacy Klein, second. Okay, all in favor, signal by hand raise. Okay, next, approval of the minutes. This is a special meeting. It's on 4/28/22. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Deb, huh?
Second.
Second, Stacy Klein. All in favor, signal by your hand raise or aye. All hands are up. All right, thank you. Approved. Next on the agenda, we have presentation from Willard Central High School and bands. The floor is yours, sir. Just introduce who you are and your name. And
You push that little button right here.
there you go. It's great.
All right.
Welcome again.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. My name is Mike Ekblended. I'm the Engineering Director for Engineering Programs at GE Appliances, and I'm the sponsor for a whole bunch of engineering projects across the district in conjunction with Bullitt County Public Schools. The groups you're getting ready to hear are from Bullitt Central High School. There's 2 groups from there, led by their teacher, Eric Connor, and 3 groups from the Bullitt Advanced Math and Science program, led by their teacher, Chip Davidson. So these are folks that have been working on this for the entire school year. I sent them out into the public to find a problem to solve. You got to hear some of their ideas a few months ago, and they're back to show you how far they got. So pending your responses and interest in continuing on with these projects, these are going to be potentially moved to another program that I'm starting at University of Louisville next fall, where engineering students at Speed School will continue development. So we're looking forward to hearing your feedback, and thank you again for the chance to be here. First group, come on up.
I think we're having a problem finding the HDMI cable, so
Just talk to it, you got a problem.
okay.
All right, we'd like to say thank you for having us again. Hope y'all have been great since last time we met. We are seniors at Bullitt Central High School, partnered with GE Appliances. I am Jacob Hibbard with my brother Jared Hibbard and my friend Brady Rawson. Back in December, we pitched y'all an idea to go to our local parks and find problems with any wheelchair or handicap accessibility. And we said the seating. We pitched y'all this idea of a adjustable table. We have created a table that can seat anybody in the community however they please and however they see fit at this table.
Yeah, so we've updated our designs where each one of these seats will be able to rotate to certain positions along each table post. For with that, they can have a bench, they can have a single seat. Pretty much they can make it how any way they want to sit. Because if you want to sit a single seat out, there's room for a walker, a cane. And if you want to just fold it all the way in, there's room for a wheelchair. We've made it big enough so where a wheelchair can roll right up to it, and all 4 of the spots can fold up to wheelchair spots, or all 4 of them could be seats, or there could be 2 benches. It's pretty well, options are limitless. So the materials we are looking at, we've talked with several people at GE. So galvanized steel, which is what you find in a lot of playgrounds and playground equipment. It's very weather resistant and it's very good, as well as the treated lumber we're wanting to use for it as well. And the treated lumber will be used for the tabletop, the legs, with the galvanized steel just being used for the connectors.
The estimated cost, the one that we feel is the most efficient for the table, the treated lumber is roughly going to come out to $150. The galvanized steel for the 15 feet is roughly $180. The labor is hard to predict with how much someone will cost, to how long it'll take to build them. Some of the actions that we've accomplished, we have a table on Onshape, which is a software that we have developed this table. We have made countless adjustments throughout the year for improvements and designated seating. We have talked with engineers at GE Appliances who have helped us throughout the year. They have told us many suggestions for the better improvements of the table. We have mailed a half scale width made out PVC pipe that you see before you. and we have discussed the prices and further and further material that we might use.
As you can see, it will rotate to a certain position right here and will fold out with the other seat like this. This is our rough scales with the PVC pipe, but it will fold up together to fold the bench. Or you can unlock it, and it will fold up, and you can fold it inside to make a spot for a wheelchair. We do have a QR code as well. I'm not sure if y'all can read it or not. Those is where you see more designs as well. Do you have any more questions for us?
Can you send that to us? Can you send that design to us?
Yes.
Okay. And how big around is the table?
So it'll be about 6 foot for the full size, so this is about 3 foot for the half scale.
Very nice.
Thank
Good
you.
idea.
Looks good.
Excellent.
I know, isn't that cool that you can
That it can help
walk her or
everybody.
wheelchair in it?
That's the
Yes.
key. It can help everybody.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In order for the metal moving parts to keep moving, is it going to need to be greased or oiled, or is it on bearings?
There'll be bearings for it.
Bearings?
Cool. Questions?
You can tell that a lot of thought went into
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
good.
Excellent.
No,
Thank you.
great. Good job, guys. Thank you so much. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seemed like a big deal for students. You would never expect to come up with amazing solutions like this.
I know it.
Yeah.
It is.
And
That's amazing.
wait till you let it sink in and realize how much even more
Oh, yeah.
it is than you
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Next team, again, also from Bullet Central, have a completely different idea, solving a completely different problem. One just as important.
I have some small scale models to show you guys and our large scale.
Sure.
back.
You're welcome to show us.
It'll make sense when we start explaining.
Okay.
These thread into each other. I only have 3 of them, so I'm gonna have to be a little generous.
Yeah, that's fine.
Virginia?
That's cool.
Sit on the table. Sit on the table.
Should have asked for some volunteers from the audience.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, you should say, we should, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Cool. That's cool how they made legs for cardboard right there, just that alone.
Great idea.
Of course, cardboard is not the final material.
Yes, that's a good one.
I'm Jared Thornhill with here with Virginia Boyle, and our project is the modular sidewalk idea. If you'd like to recap on what we've done so far.
So basically, we took our idea, just like the other group, from trying to solve a way to help disabilities, like to help be more interactive with the regular world, because oftentimes you find that something you might not think could keep someone from being just like an everyday person it's right in front of you and you just don't see it until
We
you look
find
at it.
that it can be hard for people with mobility issues to experience certain activities, such as, say, a music festival or a
Fireworks show.
fireworks
we
show or
often have out
sports
here.
game, and that's typically because they need different pathways than us with our legs, since we can walk on uneven ground way better than somebody, say, in a walker or a wheelchair can. And that's why we designed this, an adjustable sidewalk in order to, so that would help, hopefully, be,
Create like a secondary surface to go
Secondary
on top of
surface.
that top surface and also be adjustable to kind of go with. So let's say you have like a pavilion that's sitting on a concrete platform already, because I know we do have one of those in our park. So you could measure that distance and then, you know, use our idea to put it there, and we have adjustable feet, as Jared passed out the little things.
feet in front of
That's
you guys.
one of our ideas of the adjustable feet, to kind of put that together so that we can get those people onto that surface. so they can-
Represented in the large
go
scale
there.
model is those stands. That's what it would be if fully adjusted, fully spread out. The platforms will join together with either dovetails, or if we decide to change it in the future, a different form of interlocking mechanism visible in the small scale model. The entire objective of this is to create a temporary pathway that, for certain events can be laid down. Like I mentioned before, music festivals, you don't have them often at the pavilion here. So whenever one's in town, you can set up a whole bunch of pathways, and disabled people can maneuver easily and experience the music festival in a similar manner as everybody else. Pick them up and save them for another gathering or experience. There'll be more modules than just these two, of course, because who would want just a two-segment pathway? We plan on incorporating, a mid-piece instead of just an end cap, a curved piece, and various forms of intersections for it. My bad. Apologies.
And also with our idea, working with the curved piece can be kind of difficult, because depending on the angle of the curve, if you're gonna pre-make that part, you have to be kind of like
Conscientious of the
the
curve
angles
that
and
you
things.
are, trying to implement in.
So with that, we would have, so our base of our platform is with I-beams. That's how we've designed it. So it's kind of like a T with a bottom on it.
These are representative of it.
So
Be a middle support beam. Of
that's
course,
the
it
nice
doesn't work too well on this.
frame we got going on. So that we would have that piece, and then have those I-beams connected in a certain way with that curved piece, and then have a top piece that'll fit in similar to, like, we have the two top pieces here, but the dovetails kind of connect in with that piece. It's just like you have the I-beams, and then you just slide the top plate
Just to make
right in.
a quick, easy catwalk. Currently, the material ideas that we are investigating is aluminum and fiberglass. Fiberglass for the top cover, as it'd be durable and more resistant to UV radiation from the sun. Won't break down as well as plastic will, and the aluminum will be lightweight and durable to withhold upwards the heavy stress under a wheelchair and all that. The feet will likely be steel furniture feet or other forms.
So for the I-beams, it's about $20 to $36 that we've looked at per I-beam. So the dimensions we have so far are 5 feet by 3 feet, because we also had to look at, like someone like my size, trying to carry a platform, carrying it up over my head. So, but we also wanted to look at, how much room do we have to give a person with a wheelchair room to get through with the person, behind them, and a little space like beside, for other people to pass. And so that's the size we got down to. For a fiberglass sheet, it's probably about $40 a sheet, or it could be higher. There are also many different kinds of like fiberglass that we were still kind of trying to figure out what would be the best. Also, another idea we had for the topping was to do like a treated wood to kind of help go down on cost, which is about $20 to $30, because you know with the wood, originally that's where the dovetail design comes in, is from wood. So
Inspired by, you know, furniture joining and other forms. The main objective was to create a easy-to-use sidewalk, you know, that is less expensive than what it would cost to install a permanent concrete sidewalk. And in doing so, we created not only that, but something that would be temporary and easy to use at all sorts of functions instead of just one permanently.
and it's kind of easy to assemble because you know if you have the end piece, another end piece, and a middle piece, you know, it's like Legos, like a box. So it's simple to put together, and even if you can't figure out which end is which, they're a little different. So if you try to put it in the wrong end, it won't go together. So then you go, oh, it goes into that end. And also, our idea isn't just for like making just for like disabled people to try to get them on a better surface. It can also be used for like other places at like a concert. So.
I don't know if we have anything else. Any questions?
Any questions, guys?
If you were to build this, how long does it take to build it? What's the production time?
We haven't seen a final production time just yet.
I would say roughly maybe 3 hours. So with the,
Pardon?
probably about 3 hours. So.
Well, that's to make one. I'm saying to get it, if we decide
Oh,
to use them
to
in our
put it
park, we wanna buy
together?
some, how long is it gonna
Oh,
take us to
okay.
get
The
it?
installation time, my bad.
Sorry, that would just take.
Just to get it, just to get it here.
You're probably a year out. Injection mold tools take about 6 months to cut.
6 months?
Right. And the funding on the front end of that, assembling parts and.
Did you have a timeline on that first project also? Roughly?
Depending on the construction method, right, weldments are fairly straightforward to make. We can probably turn that around a fair bit faster depending on if we stick to the main concept of galvanized pipe welding, some simple bearing, and a simple tabletop. So one of those is easy to get to. 1,000 is a different problem.
I don't think we'll need 1,000.
Right,
but,
right.
We might want them before winter, if we do it this year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, it's a pleasure for you to use Bullitt Central students for this. And,
Yes.
Them this young and has this type of
Good.
talent, so.
Another
Well,
excellent
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so
Yeah.
much, you know, with what you do for our community and what you're thinking about for our community. Thank you so
And to
much.
help people become
Yes.
part of the community, inclusivity with both projects. Excellent.
We enjoy it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
As the next team's loading up from BAMS, we're using this opportunity as a chance to connect education, industry, and community together, which doesn't happen very often. Usually it's two of those. And usually that relationship is really, really one way, usually involving handing money one way. In this case, we share problems, we share needs, we share the desire to fix and improve our communities. And these students have another idea on another problem.
Yeah.
Great. All right, welcome.
Hi, my name is Jonah Clements Mattingly, and
I'm Isaac Vanderpool.
And we're from the Bullitt Advanced Math and Science program. So our proposal is an adjustable water fountain. As you can see with a lot of these projects, we really want to focus on adjustability, just like their table. And we really want to make it accessible to all, so not only people with wheelchair issues or back problems. And then this is our rough model.
So basically, when we had gone into Bernheim to look at different, problems that they might have had, we found that in a lot of their park systems, they do have water fountains, for kids or adults who get thirsty. But the main issue is they're either on top of a hill or they're at a height that, people in a wheelchair, even shorter people, just can't reach them without some sort of help. So we thought that we would take one of the basic models that they have, such as if you go into their Playco system, they have a water fountain. It's the Murdoch GRJ-85 model. And we thought we could modify the design of that so that it could be adjustable from a range of 2.5 feet to even 5, maybe 5.5 feet, to account for people who are shorter in a wheelchair or even taller people so they don't have to bend over, possible back problems in the future. So we had thought about a water mechanism that would be similar to a bendy straw. That way, when it goes up and down, it actually can contract and expand to account for the height difference. And one of the ways that we'd achieve this, well, we haven't developed anything like that, but it would be able to use linear actuators to go up and down in an orderly fashion. Obviously, it would have a limit, but that's to be determined with the different materials we're given. So the linear actuator would be seated on the edge of the outer tube, the inner tube. That way, it could move up and down freely inside the outer tube, and the inner tube would house all the different water piping and things like that. That way, it could all function inside here. And it would be modeled after an already existing water fountain. That way you wouldn't have to go into any design issues such as the water filtration or the reuse or anything like that.
So for our plan and design, we've already moved past that, and this is our prototype. We plan on in the future to gather materials to make this into a real thing and install them in Shepherdsville City Parks.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
I did. So in the winter months, how will those be winterized? Or will they be operational like a frost-free spigot?
Same like a regular, any other, basically imagine your existing water fountain and just literally cut it in half and insert an adjustable section in the middle. So all the other hardware is similar to what you would already be familiar with. It already exists in all your parks. The difference here is the mechanism that makes it go up and down, the expandability on the sides.
We didn't want to change a whole lot, so it could still be producible on a pretty large scale, and we wouldn't have to focus on any new ways to make it. Any other questions?
Yeah. Any other questions?
That's very good. Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Yeah, once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Some more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Emma Thompson,
I'm Jennifer Naylor.
and we're here to present our handicap accessible shelter design. So I want you all to imagine you're at a baseball field at the Shepherdsville City Parks, and it's really hot outside and there's very limited shelter. And if it's hard for you to regulate your body temperature, you can imagine what it is for a handicapped person to regulate their body temperature. And if we want to create a shelter that is it's easy for everyone else to regulate their body temperature at once. So our goal was it was accessible to everyone, even including wheelchairs.
We have a very basic shelter with a few key components, and one of them is a slanted roof. And at the bases, we would have rain barrels that would collect the water, and those would be connected to fans that would use the water we collected to mist onto the spectators. And this would be powered by a solar panel, so that we use as little electricity as possible. We are currently in the second stage, which is the prototype. And with your approval, we hope to gather our materials and begin building and installing our project.
Any questions?
Any questions, John?
Good idea.
It is a good idea.
Yes.
Kids would love that at the park.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to do with water, so. Well, thank you so much. It's a good idea. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The students were going out of their way to try to make these as easily as installable things as possible. No electricity has to run, right?
Yeah.
It's solar panels powering batteries. They'll run pumps and fans. It's pretty ingenious.
Yes, it is. They did a good job.
All right. You want help? One more, thank you.
good, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we just want to thank you all for giving us your time. So, my name is Amy Antonia Pena.
My name's Layla Garner.
And I'm Lily Smith. Today, we come to present to you the handicap accessible hand cart, which we affectionately like to call the Teely Wheelie. So, first, I would want to start to ask you, how many of you have gone to a playground as a kid? Now, how many kids at that playground have been in a wheelchair?
Several.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, not many.
Not many, say it, yeah.
So, we are here to propose to create and install a handicap accessible hand cart and accessible ramp. So, we want to create that same feeling of going down that slide or just being high above the ground for those kids that are wheelchair bound and are not able to have those same experiences when they're in the wheelchair. That's why we've created this model. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Lily to talk about the concept.
All right, so this is our cart right here. We've got this track and it's in a circle so we can go around. Due to size constraints, this cart is not going to be exactly what it looks like here. Geologist, we will crank this cart. It's going to do these wheels up here and these wheels are follow, so it's a two-wheel device. The other is follow. It's going to work. Again, due to size constraints, it's not going to be exactly like how it is right now. It's going to be more like, if you've ever been in a paddle boat, think of that except instead of moving your feet, you're going to move your hands in this kind of motion, and that's going to move these wheels. Hand carts are a very well-developed technology, so there should be no problem implementing that and upkeeping that. So there will be a platform and a ramp here so that individuals who are wheelchair bound can roll up onto the platform and load onto the cart. So with such a big piece of landscape, we want a more multifaceted, diversified play experience for everyone. And because of the big land that's being used, we want to use all of it. So in the middle, we have this tower where people can crawl through. It's going to be covered so they can't get their little hands on the track. They'll climb up onto this. There'll be sort of a lookout, and there'll be a slide down on the other side. And all this will be covered so they won't get their hands hurt. And that's why we have the gate on the outside. Again, it's more of a safety concern so the kids don't stick their hands onto the rails and get hurt.
Okay, so our action plan, first we had the survey location to put in our Teely Wheelie. And then after that, we had to work with our GE mentors to finalize our project. And then currently we're in the design phase where we're going to design a prototype. And then our next step would be to get feedback from other people such as you. Any questions?
What size area would you need for that? Like,
Okay, so this is about 3 feet up. We're thinking about this, so imagine me to, it's about that round area.
about that big? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's around 20 feet from the insides, and again, it's a large landscape we're using that, so we do have stuff in the middle to accommodate that.
Any other questions?
So if the person's in a wheelchair, obviously they just wheel themselves into the cart.
Yeah.
They ride around the top, right?
And then there's going to be a ramp. We don't have this because some of the wood was hard to cut. But there will be a ramp here that they can go onto. There will be a platform, and it will have easy accessibility so that way they can kind of swing into that. Again, due to size constraints, this cart is a little bit hard to make it to where you can see that a wheelchair can go into here, but we will be able to go into really tiny So this track has indents to where the wheels of the cart can go under. It'll be the same kind of thing.
That's
It's
cool.
a great idea.
That's a good
That's
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably do something like that, go, like they're in the playground in the wheelchair, yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Once again, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think the thing that the students didn't point out that is probably worth noting is that these designs weren't specifically for just one person, this other person. It's designed and intended, even the hand truck, right? Anybody can get up there on the platform and crank if they want to, and they've built it into the landscape of the playground. So lots of great ideas and creativity from a lot of students. And I, as a jaded adult, it brings me a little hope and a little joy to see the next generation this
absolutely.
creative and working this hard to solve problems in our world.
They are
So,
our future. Awesome.
but thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
It is finals week for them, so we're gonna eject.
Yeah.
But, thank you again.
Thank you too. God bless you.
Any kind of action to approve? Yeah, did they need any kind of?
No, they didn't say they did.
Okay.
No, they said it's still in the prototype and that, they said they might come back to us.
That'd be great for a park.
I know it would be. One of each, just to say you have
Yeah,
that.
it's a great idea.
It's that expensive. That's cool. Okay, next, this is Darren Patchen of the Shepherdsville Police Department. He's a major, and he's got something to speak on. Welcome, Darren.
That's a tough act to follow, Darren.
I know.
Sorry?
That's a tough act to follow.
Well, yeah, I'm doing, it's all right though. Hey, I sent you guys, some stuff last week. I emailed it and put it in your mailboxes. Our body cameras, our old body cameras, we're asking for permission to go ahead and destroy those. Our new body cameras are now active and out in the field. The old ones we can't sell. Well, they're 9 years old. The company no longer does firmware updates to them. That was the whole point of us being urgent of replacing the body cameras. So I just need your permission to destroy these 37 items.
And you're currently using the new ones now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right,
I'll make a motion that we destroy the surplus body cameras.
Bonnie and Lo, was that second? Okay, second, Deb Huffman. Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Carry 6-0. Thank you, sir.
Can I speak
Yes,
on one
you
more
got the
thing?
floor. Go ahead. Yes.
One of the things that was brought up with the ARPA funds was the cameras for the park. We're at a position to start really looking at numbers and give you guys numbers. To deploy the 10 cameras into the park, it would be 10 of them. We're looking at roughly $22,000. The monthly fee that we pay, that you would have to pay, we're already paying it on cameras that, really didn't work anyways. So the cost is a void there. The only thing we have to do is work out some electrical stuff with Tom, and we'll be ready for you guys to maybe decide what you want to do with it.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, Ms. Tammy Baker is gonna read first reading, amending, ordinance 011-078.
Summary of ordinance number 022-052. An ordinance amending ordinance number 011-078 relating to the imposition and administration of an occupational license requirement and payment of an occupational license tax by persons and business entities conducting businesses, occupations, and professions within the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. In summary, Section 1 sets forth the definitions. Section 2 sets forth license application required. Section 3 sets forth occupational occupational license tax payment required and is amended from 1.5% to 2%. Section 4 sets forth apportionment. Section 5 sets forth employers to withdraw. Section 6 sets forth returns required. Section 7 sets forth extensions. Section 8 sets forth refunds. Section 9 sets forth federal audit provisions. Section 10 sets forth administrative provisions. Section 11 sets forth information to remain confidential. Section 12 sets forth penalties. Section 13 sets forth use of occupational license tax. Section 14 sets forth severability. And, Mayor and Council, the only thing that is changed is the 1.5% to 2%. I did it as a complete ordinance, that way we're not piecing together ordinances, but the only amended item is 1.5% to the 2%.
All right, thank you. Let me see, that's first reading, right?
Yes.
All right, next we'll have first reading ordinance 022-053.
Ordinance number 022-053. An ordinance pursuant to KRS 81A.412, annexing into the city of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, 5.9 acres of unincorporated territory of property located at 250 Phelps Road, and owned of record by Kenneth J. and Stacy M. Jones by consent of all property owners of record of the property. Whereas Kentucky Revised Statute 81A.412 provides that a city may annex any area meeting the requirements of Kentucky Revised Statute 81A.410 if each of the owners of record of the land to be annexed gives prior consent in writing to the annexation. Be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. Section 1. The City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky finds that the areas to be annexed, described in and depicted on the attached Exhibit A, and incorporated herein by reference as if set out in full, were adjacent or contiguous to the city's boundaries at the time the annexation proceeding was begun. Section 2. The City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky finds that by reason of population density, commercial, industrial, institutional, or governmental use of land or subdivision of land, the areas to be annexed described in and depicted on the attached Exhibit A are urban in character or suitable for development for urban purposes without unreasonable delay. Section 3. The City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky finds that each of the owners of record of the land to be annexed, described here and below, has given consent in writing to the annexation. Section 4. The City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky does hereby annex the territory described in and depicted on the attached Exhibit A. Section 5. This ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 6. Should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the remainder of this ordinance. Section 7. Parts of any ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 9th day of May 2022, to be given second reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 23rd day of May 2022. And Mayor, I do know that the attorney, Mr. Ashburner, is here if the council had any questions.
Is there any questions for the attorney here?
Is this just property only, there's nothing on it?
Yes, that's correct.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, old business, none. No planning and zoning update. No Board of Adjustments update. All right, sign and speakers. All right, yeah, once again, you have 3 minutes to speak on your sign-in speakers here. And first, we got Larry Clark. Come on up, sir.
And Mayor, before we get into Mr. Clark's 3 minutes, I will tell, I don't know if all the council heard, but Arthur Jones did look at that plat and says the tree is the city's tree, so.
So we will be
have to remove the tree.
cutting it and removing it. Okay, all right, good. All right, go ahead, Larry.
But on a better note, I want to thank Brenda for her quick service today. I called in, and by the time I drove from the tree to here, she had her job done.
With Arthur Jones, correct?
No,
Oh,
a different situation.
oh, something
which
else.
I'll
Oh,
be
okay, well,
back
good,
on.
thank you. You're welcome, thank you.
Now
And,
then, when are we going to move the tree?
I'll get with Tom, tomorrow and find out when we can get that done.
I think it's about time,
Yeah,
because it's
you're
been
welcome,
there
sir.
since December.
We'll be proud to remove it now.
And if you come in, I'll furnish a beverage and may even help you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
What
You're-
kind of beverage?
You're a good neighbor.
I've got
She said, whatever you want, I got it.
Non-alcoholic.
Yes, yes.
No.
Don't give it to
Lemonade.
Kid.
Lemonade or sweet tea?
Yeah, Larry, who you kidding? Well, thank you, Larry. Thank you, sir. All right, next, Mr. Stephen Phelps. Welcome.
2 weeks ago, when I was here, we were talking, I was talking, in regards to the tourism corridor overlay. And several of you indicated that you had not seen it. The very next day, I emailed it all to you. Hopefully, each of you has had an opportunity to look at that. I would like to have the council consider that overlay and act upon it. You can put that into your normal regular meeting minutes, but I hope that that is something that does take care of it.
Well, thank you, sir.
Any questions for me?
Any questions?
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, Wayne Downey. Hello, Wayne.
I have a few things. First one is, keep hearing about the Bully County Comprehensive Plan, and it's supposed to be updated every 5 years. I noticed on y'all's website, June 11, 2015 was the last time. Has there been an update to it or a revision to it or anything?
They're working on it, fiscal court is, and they've contacted a couple people from our city to be on it. I think Arthur Jones and a couple other people in the community. Yeah,
Well,
it's due every 5.
It is?
It is due, but I've heard that they are, I don't know if they got a date, do you know?
Well, and I don't know, Mr. Barr might know this better than me because we don't go to all those meetings, but the planning commission is the body that adopts that, and they can just re-adopt their same plan every 5 years. So I don't know if they did that when it came due. I don't.
Do you know, Tom? Because I heard they knew it was out of date, and they contacted a few people.
Money aside
To work on it, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have an answer.
Okay,
for
so
you.
is it only, how many other people's involved with this? Is there?
I don't know. It wasn't this body it was the county.
The planning commission's made up of 13 appointed people, but I don't know who all.
Right,
They
but I
talk to stakeholders in the community to work on the plan, but
Okay, because,
can't
I
speak
mean,
to
I haven't heard anything else about it, that's why being part of the community, haven't heard anything, so I felt like the input from a bunch of us, other community people, would like to be on that.
And I will tell you, when they did it in 2015, they hired a professional engineer, Chris Lowry. I don't know what her exact title was, but they paid her a good sum of money, and they had actual meetings. They advertised, I believe, in the Pioneer News for those meetings. We even had one, I think, at Parakeet Springs Conference Center. So when they were doing it then, they did advertise and ask for public involvement, and they got, I thought, a good deal of public involvement.
Okay, but currently no other community personnel?
No, if you want to get on the Bullitt County website or Shepherdsville website, sometimes we're listing now our committee, people are requesting for committees on our site,
Okay.
as well as theirs and KLC, and you can look on there for.
And you could even, I would suggest calling the planning commission office. I'm sure if you talk to Felicia Harper, she can probably tell you if they have another meeting come up to discuss it, or
Okay.
that would be a good starting point.
Okay. Issue that I've noticed, since I live on Rams Run, on Chesapeake Road there, around the barrel houses, the roads are getting more broken up, the asphalt there. I didn't know if y'all were aware of that or not, plans on getting it fixed. Plus also on 61 there, where Chesapeake and 61, there's a stream that goes there, a culvert.
Right.
Well, with all the excess water coming in from all the warehousing, water's gotta go somewhere, but it's eroding away the dirt from the actual asphalt.
Right.
So you can see there, come from Chesapeake down there, on the western side of 61, on the other side of the culvert there, the asphalt's actually starting to sink down. I don't know how long that's gonna be, how many more rainstorms we're gonna have, where 61 there is gonna be shut down. So you're gonna have access limited because the road collapses in.
Right.
And that's
So-
Chesapeake and.
Chesapeake and 61. And one thing I did notice on the website earlier, I don't know if y'all would know anything about the ethics committee, anything about, you're looking for 3 members for the ethics committee?
Yeah, looking for 3, yeah.
Is that only for the city personnel, or is that people living out in Bullitt County?
Well, Brenda, you remember that, do you have to live in the city limits? I have to
Yes.
research that. What, you think so?
You do.
I'm confident you have to live in the
You have
city.
to
Yeah,
live in the city.
yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you, sir. Okay, next, all right. Department, Lane, do you have anything? Darren, you got anything? Tom, you got anything? Oh, Dwayne, did you have anything? Okay, that's what I thought later, okay. All right, you're welcome. All right, council comments, Bonnie, Lisa, who wants to go first?
I thought we let Stacy go first. Because I think
Okay.
all of us have comments on the one subject, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll
Go ahead.
So,
Stacy start.
we've had numerous calls on the homeless. I'm not sure if we can draft an ordinance or what can be done, but, it's really bad. I know Darren had.
Yeah, he has a
he had-
campground.
Is this draft for us to look at to try to address stuff for that? Okay. So we can maybe work on that to fit it to our needs, so it's not,
It's
yeah.
gonna have to
I
have some
know,
changes.
I know the police department's working on it, they're going to, if they're getting calls, but there's several business owners. I've got several pictures, as well as everybody else.
And I've been at one of the businesses when one of the homeless showed up.
They're getting threatened. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. These business owners, I mean, Darren, do you know anything that we can do to help these people? Doing what you're doing.
Criminal trespass?
And
Yeah.
we've talked, you all know, we've talked about it at length, and even Darren and I talked before the meeting. It's not illegal to be homeless.
No, I know.
And it's a tough situation, and if they are doing illegal things or exposing themselves and things like that, if you call the police and they're gone by then what are you gonna do?
There's
I
nothing
mean,
you
it's.
can do.
Yeah. But Deb did bring up something good about the kids, when they're out of school, what's gonna happen then, because there's kids gonna be out of school. I mean,
You know, if we can research and see what some of the other cities, because, they have same challenges like us, and if we can research and see what they can put in place, like this here about the camping, because, we did have, some campsites here that Public Works went in after placing notice on there, and then saying their items will be over here, and then they put no trespassing after that, but
I mean,
it'd be nice if we could, think of some type of legislation that we can, because it's not that we don't have compassion, all of us care.
Well, no, but we
Yeah,
have to
we,
protect our
who wouldn't wanna help somebody?
Yeah, I mean, these are
But it's-
tax-paying citizens
yeah.
that are showing up to their job and
They're being
they're getting
harassed.
cussed out
Yeah.
by the homeless and they're having to call the police. I mean, there's a vehicle living behind one of the establishments over there on Buckman Street. And then, I mean, we've got tons of complaints. There's gotta be something we can do.
My fear is too that somebody ends up taking matters into their own hands.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
they call the police
Yeah.
and
Do you-
we tell them to
Bonnie-
leave,
yeah.
and then the police leave, and then they're right back and harassing again. I
We
mean,
had one happen the other day.
know.
I'm not gonna release the names, but, a mother called me upset. Her daughter lives down on Shannon Lane. A man came at her, homeless man came at her with a coat hanger and, some kind of like a box knife or something. I'm not sure on that. But anyway, she kept warning him to stop, and he wouldn't stop, so she pulled a gun on him. And then she called the police, and then he left. She's got 3 small children.
Right.
This is gonna It's be. definitely
I mean, I fear somebody's gonna end up shooting one.
Yes.
You know?
Well, like I said, if we have plenty of resources in town there, if we can think of any type of legislation that one of us can support, and I'll ask around too, because I'm sure that's challenges. But like I said,
It is a
if you keep the thought into Louisville, because my son's in one right now, and he has a free TARP pass, free Goodwill pass, Goodwill voucher, and free meals and free food, then they'll find him a job. So all the resources in there. When I was on Louisville Policeman, we had a little book about this thick, and had all the shelters and when the meals are, St. Vincent de Paul and stuff like that. So of course we'll do some type of legislation, but
I mean, they're laying in their dumpsters when they go to drop the trash. I mean, Kenny, what can you do about that if somebody's in your dumpster?
Kenny has
and-
got found that
They're
before.
gonna get dumped in the trucks, what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You'll get
I
killed.
mean, yes.
Well,
exactly.
all of our trucks have hopper cameras, so they'll see them
Oh,
go in the truck, so they probably won't get packed up or anything.
One of the calls that I got is they were using the restrooms behind their businesses. I don't know, but I feel sorry for them, I'm sorry, but they shouldn't have to come to work every day worried about this.
Scared, yeah, they're
I
scared.
mean, they're scared.
They're scared, and they're losing business.
Yeah. All right,
I mean,
well, like I said,
they've had people say, we're not coming back,
Yeah.
so.
oh, yes, go ahead, yeah.
I lived in Louisville for a long time. I've seen the homeless situation get there worse and worse and worse to where it is homeless camps everywhere. I mean, for granted, yes, there are people with mental issues, drug addictions, but the majority of people choose to live there themselves. Whatever hardships they may have had, a lot of people choose to be homeless. There's so many programs in Louisville that a person can get out of that situation if they choose to. Now, I know a gentleman before, a couple meetings past, stated they wanted to start a homeless shelter. I don't know if it was an opportunity, like a step up, or a hand up, but, I mean, the situation with the homeless people, it has to be dealt with, because like y'all said, citizens are gonna start taking matters in their own hands, especially when they start to feel threatened. Being Lowell County, we're a lot more gun holders out here, the right to stand your ground, castle protection, a lot of issues opening up. It's gonna, something has to be seriously thought, considered, planned, and, utilized.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you for your input. All right, any other questions on this? Like I said, if we can research it, see if we can find any of the legislation that the city does, we'll certainly bring it up and vote on it, because I know every one of us cares about them and also care about what they're doing to
So
our community.
Darren, if we got anything to add, can we just email you or call you? I'm just saying, I'm
Or me.
just,
Or Tammy.
Tammy,
Yeah, I'll be the
sorry,
one. No,
I'm
you're
sorry,
fine.
Darren, Tammy.
I'll be the one
Yeah.
ultimately putting it
Yeah.
together. No, you're fine.
Okay,
There might be a certain place to help.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, Stacy, you got anything else? We'll stick with you.
no, I
Okay.
don't have anything, I mean, I'm
But-
getting, I'm not lying when I tell you this.
Well, see, I did too,
Tons
so
of calls.
right now, my contact will be email or business phone, because I can't even get anything done because of all the Texas. For some reason, I'm getting other, and, if it's department head or something, I'll go and answer. But the best way to contact me now is by the email or 543-2923, so. Until
Okay.
this, because
Well, I'll tell them that.
yeah, this homeless shelter is really, we gotta do something about that, about the homeless.
Well, when I
shelter.
stopped to get gas this morning, there was a guy going through the trash cans.
This morning?
They go through my garbage cans.
Yeah.
We shred everything, obviously, but like,
Okay, like I said, we're surely open for any help that we can get or
Suggestions,
suggestions, yeah, because we have an obligation to protect this community.
Yes.
And
This,
Mayor, I'll-
every question we have is, how does that benefit, or benefit help the citizens of Shepherdsville, so, yeah.
and I was just saying,
What
I'll
about
put,
an ordinance or anything?
well, that's what I was gonna say,
That's what I was
I'll
thinking.
put some feelers out on the Kentucky League of Cities. We have a city attorney listserv, and we like ask questions, and people will send ordinances back and forth. I'll put a question out on there and see
Yeah, please,
if
that'd be
anybody else
great.
has anything.
Yeah,
Good, okay,
okay, that's all I
Okay.
got.
all right, Miss Bonnie,
Mine was the same as hers.
oh, it was, okay, Mike, you have anything?
No, I don't mind, the situation, I know it's mentioned with the homeless situation, that ordinances. It's like everything else, I don't mind having an ordinance, as many as it takes, as long
Yeah.
as they can be enforced.
Yeah, that's what,
And
that's
what
the
I
key.
see, you got all kinds of laws in this country that are not enforced, or are not, obeyed.
Yeah.
And you deal with everything in the aftermath. So,
Yeah, you're right, so you gotta consider,
so,
and will that work?
speaking about dealing in the aftermath, I guess I'll have to be the one to say something here, but we were notified here just, at that budget meeting we had, that we're gonna be facing approximately a $1.3 million balloon payment on a loan that, in all, honesty, 4 of us on this council, and I talked with one that was not, but is still accessible. I believe our full intent was that loan would be completely paid off at the end of the 5-year term. That wasn't the note that was signed. And now we're faced with coming up with an additional 1.3 million that we did not anticipate. I think by having a lower payment throughout that whole term of the loan so far, we'll be paying more interest because we've kept the principal level higher through the loan. I don't know how, I don't know whose suggestion it was to do it that way. I don't think it was the council's at that time. Although reading the loan, I don't think there was anything illegal about it being signed. But it wasn't it wasn't the way the council wanted that loan to be handled. I can tell you that. So the only thing I can suggest, unless someone else can come up with something better, and I spoke with some of my council members, is the fact that all loans, all contracts be presented to the council prior to the mayor signing them. Any mayor, now, future, that prevents, or if there is a misunderstanding, there will be at least 7 people involved in the misunderstanding instead of maybe 1 or 2. So we can't fix what's already happened, but I think that's the way we need to fix it in the future so that there's, so it doesn't happen again. And that's my suggestion. And if it takes an ordinance, a municipal order, I'd like for Tammy to prepare to draw that up to be ready to be approved at the next council meeting.
When was the loan? Do you have the year? When was that?
2020, July of 2023, according to the information that Tanya's given us, there'll be a $1.3 million balloon payment due.
What year was that signed?
18. And I got a copy of it, reading it. It did everything but say it has to be equal payments. It said what the monthly payment would be, and that monthly payment does not equate to the full balance of the loan. But it took 4 years for me to see it, and that's a little far in, so there again,
Actually, it was on last year's budget when they were gonna have a shortfall.
So,
At 6 months into it, they were gonna be short, so that's when it was actually gonna process,
yeah.
looking at that kind of started.
I think Tammy can agree that intent is intent, legality is legality.
Yep.
So let's make it legal, if you don't mind. The other thing is, and I won't blindside anyone, but I was looking and I spoke with Tanya earlier, and I sent her an email today, and I will speak with her on a situation before I bring it up in public. And I think that's all I have tonight.
Debbie, anything?
No, Stacy covered what I had.
I'm good, thank you. Lisa?
CSX again tonight, anything?
No. No, please.
Brenda, have you worked any magic yet?
No.
In your position?
Well, if you get that done, they'll be carrying you on their shoulders.
Brenda, would you be able to put, stop and think there for a minute. Would you be able to put a sign on the door? We're gonna have another beautification meeting on Wednesday evening at 6:30. And then maybe at the next meeting, I'll present some of the things that we've been working on. At the last meeting, we had some paperwork that was delivered to us on our desk when we came in. And I had voted against passing the information that was presented, as some council members said that it come to us in an email, and I didn't get the email because of the fact that I worked during the day, and so I got it on my desk. But other council members apparently got that, so I guess my question is, did anyone find the mistake that was on the paper that was voted on? Since I looked at it that evening, and when I got home, I looked over this information, and there was a mistake. So what was actually voted on is not correct. And this has to do with your department, Darren. You wanted to move money from the insurance for the dash to line item 5334, the K-9 unit. Also, the income from 4320, the restricted donations for 50,599. That also was to be moved to 5334, canine expense. So, did anyone look at that paperwork when they got home, or did we just vote on it and nobody catch it? Because we, as a council, did not and do not have a line item 5334 in our budget. And I'm sure that it's a mistake, but it's about 20 digits off. So instead of it being line item 5334, it should be line item 5354, which reads canine expense units. So do we need to withdraw all of that and vote on the correct?
You need to fix it with the motion.
Okay. So I would like to make.
An easy fix, but fix with the motion.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's
Typographical
one reason I
error.
didn't
Sounds like
vote
it.
on
Yeah,
this.
if you got the right numbers, yeah, that'd be.
Because
absolutely fix
it was presented to me when I got here, and after I got home and looked at it, it was incorrect. So I would like to make a motion to remove all of that on the last vote for the insurance for Dash of 15,000 to be moved to line item 5354, the canine unit expense. And the income restriction of 4320, the donation of 50,599 to be moved to line item 5354. And that should cover that. So
Would that cover the, okay. Motion by Lisa, second. Mike? Any other questions?
Is that correct, y'all? Darren? Tanya?
I'll be glad to show it to you. I'll pass it down. Y'all can look at it if you'd like.
Did you get it?
I can't even see it.
Yeah, it's real little, ain't it?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? Darren, that's not changing anything, right? That's what you wanted to be done, just changing the numbers, the correct numbers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, give that back there. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, all in favor? Signal by hand raised. 3 over here, 1 over here, and 4 over here, okay. Kenny, no or no vote, Kenny? No vote, Kenny, no vote, so 5, 1's a no vote. And everybody else was a yes vote, okay.
Feel better?
It's not about feeling better, it's about looking at your reports.
It was a typo.
But still, you
It's a
voted on it.
typo.
Okay, all right, that's good. Hey, okay, Lisa, we're going to executive session? Okay.
Personnel.
Personnel.
Oh, boy.
I need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion.
Okay, Kenny, Bonnie, second. Okay.
That
I mean, Deb was second. That was you, and I'm gonna cover that one. Yeah. Okay, all in favor? All hands are up. All right, we'll be back, guys. Yeah, yeah. We hope to be back.
Right.
Okay, entertain a motion to,
Motion.
Stacy, okay, second Deb, okay, all in favor? Turner, okay. With no action taken in executive session, motion to adjourn.
Motion,
Go
hey.
ahead. Lisa. Hold on, Lisa?
No, I withdraw.
That's
I
between
withdraw.
Kenny and I.
I withdraw.
This is my month.
So Lisa withdraw, the first one is Mike Hibbert.
She withdraws her motion.
I withdraw.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn,
Thank
Mike
you.
Hibbert, second would be
I'll second that.
Kenny and Newton, all in
You
favor?
might, we might need to update Brenda on that.
I got it.
Oh, yeah, they.
Oh, yeah, I need to know what the,
Bonnie's the only one who voted though, you all.
No, I'm the only one who voted. Are y'all gonna vote
Okay,
to
ready?
adjourn?
All in
That's
favor?
right.